Hello and welcome to part 2. Hope you're still with me. These are your questions that you sent in, and as usual, you're brilliant. I love your questions, so this is why I wanted to give them enough time so I can talk about them. First question of the week is Dot and Leah. Hello ladies, both amazing book bloggers, so if you get the chance to check out Chicklit Reviews and Dot Scribble's blog, do, because they're amazing. I'll put links on the blog as well because they're really cool. They both wanted to know how much input I have in my covers. In the first cover for Fairytale of New York, I did actually see sort of a mood board that was put together because Avon really wanted to know if it was kind of along the lines of the thing that I'd written, and you know, there were sort of pictures, there were screenshots from Sleepers in Seattle, and there were pictures of, you know, the Empire State Building and bits of New York and serendipity and all this kind of stuff. It was totally where I felt it was at, so that was fine. And I've got to say, when I first saw the cover for Fairytale of New York, I just fell in love. I danced around my living room in my slippers, made a complete prat of myself. Thankfully nobody was watching, but I just love it. I love it. It's the kind of book that I would pick off the shelves, and it's amazing. I was quite surprised that it had a wintry feel. I understand why, because obviously my books tend to come out at Christmas, so they look very Christmassy. But if you've read Fairytale of New York, you know that really there's kind of only a couple of scenes that are set around Christmas. It's something really exciting happens. It's when Rosie gets the first mystery arrangement of roses, and obviously, so it's quite a pivotal scene. But it's not a Christmas book, but I could understand why that was, and so that was fine. With Welcome to My World, we knew that we were going to use the same designers, and it was going to be the same sort of thing with my sparkles and, you know, the really sort of high colour, and I knew that the colours were going to be different. The only input that I actually physically had in terms of the covers was that in the original proof that they sent me, the girl on the front had brown hair, and I said, well, no, because Harry's got red hair, so they changed it to red hair. But you'll notice if you look on the spine of the book, that one didn't get changed, which someone only pointed out a while ago. I hadn't noticed. So on the spine of the book is how it originally looked, and on the front of the book is the colour that I suggested. So that's what I had there. So I hope that answers your question. Leah has got another question as well. Hello Leah, still going with the questions. Good girl, they're really good, I'm loving them. Leah wants to know why the name of my debut novel was changed. Now, my name for Fairytale of New York was Coffee at Kowalski's, because essentially it was, you know, about Rosie and Nate having coffee in the middle of Kowalski's flower store, and so that's what I called it. As soon as Avon took it on, this name Fairytale of New York started being bandied about, and they're very sort of, they wanted to sort of encapsulate the magic of the book. They felt it was quite a magical book because it's sort of, I guess I've got a bit of an old-fashioned way of telling stories, so they wanted to bring that out in the book. And to be honest, when I first heard it, I hated it because I don't like the Pogue song. I don't think it's romantic at all. All I could think of was the, you know, you scumbag, you maggot line, and I thought, what's romantic about that? But having seen the way that the cover was put together and understanding now what I do about how the publishing industry works, I think it worked. It was also because the publishing director at the time, Maxine Hitchcock, who now works for Simon & Schuster, she's obsessed with song titles. So, but I think they're just easy, recognisable. They make you think of a certain time or a certain place, and so that was fine. So she chose the title for Fairytale of New York. When it came to Welcome to My World, obviously I knew that, you know, we needed to have a title that people recognise. I actually chose that one. Part of the reason is because obviously Harry's a travel agent, although she doesn't travel anywhere for most of the book. But also because at the time there was an advert for one of the travel companies that had, you know, welcome to my world. There's a little bit of singing for you. And I thought that's great because it's travel and it, you know, it ties in. And then also it's Alex is welcoming Harry to his world of travel stories, and, you know, it works on a number of levels. So I chose that one. And I also chose It Started With a Kiss. And moving on with the song title theme, the chapter heading of every chapter in It Started With a Kiss is a song title, so that you've basically got a set list that the wedding band will play. There's a wedding band at the centre of the book. That's really important. So we're carrying on with the song titles. So I'm choosing the names at the moment, so I hope that answers your question. Emily, hi Emily, thanks for your lovely comment on my blog and your question as well. She's got a great question. She wants to know if the opportunity for my books to be turned into either TV programmes or films came about, would I accept and why? Yes is the simple answer. There's been some interest in Fairytale of New York. These things take years, so it would be amazing if someone made a film of my books, and I'd be interested, to be honest, to see how somebody else would interpret it. I know that there's some writers who feel that almost their artistic integrity is compromised if somebody, you know, makes a film of their book. I don't feel like that. I would love it, as long as I can help with the casting of the male roles. You know, Colin Firth, I'm really sorry, but I'll just have to audition you. But you know, so yeah, I would love it. I would love it. It's a simple answer. And if there are any, you know, TV producers or film producers watching, please make a film of my books. I think they'd make brilliant films. I have a friend who's a script editor for a TV production company, and she said that she'd love to make a film of Welcome to My World, because she thinks that it would work really well having somebody stuck in a loo. So I think either of them would lend themselves, and to be honest, I write them like they're movies. I kind of see them as movies in my head. So I'd love that. And you always get the question, who would you cast, you know, for all these things. So yeah, basically, please make a film of my books, please. It would be lovely. Whether that actually happens, I don't know, but I think, you know, it's always the dream, isn't it, to have that happen. So if anything does happen and we get anything happening, you know, any kind of, you know, moves forward on that, you'll be the first to know. So I hope that answers your question. So there we go. 3 amazing questions. Thank you very much. Keep them coming, because I love answering your questions. I love knowing what you want to know about. As ever, you know what to do. Put a comment in the box at the bottom of the screen, and I'll do my best to answer as many of them as I can. So next week I'm going to be telling you more about the edits, more about what's staying in and what's going. There have been some very early casualties that we're going to have to get rid of. Happy about some of them, not so happy about the others, and I'll tell you about those next week. So in the meantime, keep your questions coming in. Let me know what you think of the hat. I'm quite pleased with it. And I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.